And good morning to everybody on a Tuesday morning with Morning Coffee with Marcaida. And today's little thought is Forged in Fire, and I like to call Life in Knife. One of the cool things I love about the show, and I'll say, for those who watch Forged in Fire, is to see the parallels of life and the art of making a knife. When you think about it, the first part is you have an ore, and the ore is put into the forge. The forge could be the womb. And then when the material comes out, it has to be drawn out, heated up, tempered to bring out the end goal, which is a knife. Think about how this parallels with life at the same time. I like to sit back there and I like to always find different ways to challenge my ways of looking at things. Always look at it from a different point of view. And this is what I do with the show too, because I found that it really mimics life and parallels to life with so many ways that we learn from the show. I found that people come in not knowing what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen in life. They come in with a plan. They come in with their craftsmanship. But what you find out also is they're never really given a straightforward task to do. Like we have our task in life. You're given something from reclaimed materials. So make a knife out of, a piece of a car or these things. Always thrown a twist in there. So that really puts into play the way they adjust, the way they assess, reassess, engage life, the way they engage to make their knives. So a lot of times I go in there thinking it's really not just craftsmanship. Knowing is not enough. Knowing how to adjust to things really is what the show is all about. A lot of times, it's not just the competitive spirit, the competitiveness of wanting to survive and do well in life, but it's also knowing how to adapt, overcome, how to be able to adjust things. But in the end, there's always that end goal. That end goal is always there. You have to sometimes abandon a plan if it's not working and then start another plan but never give up the end goal. And that's what I like about that. And I've seen the bladesmiths who are able to have this adaptability really do very well in the show. It's not just about making a knife, because you have to have the skills of problem solving all the time. So one of the skills that you should practice, and I challenge you to take a look at it, and that's what I can pick over here. Always a knife, but okay. Let's say this piece right here. It's a karambit gift, right? So if you look at this, that's all you're going to see. That's the part that's given to you. But on your own, if you start looking at it from different points of view, you would have never known that it had a dragon's head or a tiger's head up there, right? You wouldn't have known there was a tail behind there in all these carvings. If you took it apart, you wouldn't know that it's a curved karambit. Would you have known about that piece from this angle? But that's what it looks like in this angle. So having the practice of constantly trying to reverse engineer stuff, the constant practicing of playing things will develop that skill in you. So every day I always pick up something. I go, well, here's a box of this. Now, did you know that if you turn it over, that's what you're going to find? What about in here? What about that? Everything has so many different parts of it for you to examine. You can start with something small that's around you, that inquisitive mind of always wanting to do and take a look at things, and then find the parallels of what it does. Why? Because if you start with simple things like boxes or things around you, it develops a habit. Everything is a habit. When you start looking through life and everything else, you start to see the parallels and say, what else can I see from that? What else can I gain from normal perception? If I picked up this rock right here, or this, do I know that it can be other things other than what it is? Do I see a screwdriver in here? Do I see a weapon here? Do I see something that can be as a weight or something else? Constantly having that idea of looking at things and trying to find other meaningful things from it. That's always the learning mind, the mind that's always wanting to learn stuff. And I do that just watching Forged in Fire. I just watch the parallels of watching the Smiths compete, and then realize that a lot of these Smiths, they actually practice in their home forge for these 3-hour challenges. They do it all the time. But then when they show up, it was nothing like I thought it was going to be, because you're working in somebody else's place. But you can always have a plan. But then it's different when situations around you have to change. So you have to learn to adapt and adjust for that. And that's what I find that people who do well in life do the same thing also. At the same time, knowing when to abandon something and start all over again. Not giving up the goal, but knowing to change gears, just like we do in ours. So a lot of people can't let go, can't ever let go of this because this is all they know. But they have to know the process of letting go and starting something else and picking up and moving forward with that and learning from it. It's all habit in the beginning. Assess things, reassess, engage. And that's one of the things I love to watch about, the show for those who do it. And then, of course, there's a time limit. You're given 3 hours to do this. That's all we have in life. We have a time limit. The difference is we don't know when our time is up. So, did you do everything that you wanted to do? Did you get to your end goal with the time given to you? Just a thought for the day. Doug Marcaida here. Morning Cup of Joe. Always good. First thing in the morning. Have a good day, folks.